Alright, let's take a taste. We want to make sure we get some chicken, some vegetables, some rice. This is so good. This is delicious. Hi, I'm Vicky, and we're in the kitchen. We're going to be making curry chicken over turmeric rice. All right, so in the Instant Pot, we're going to put 1 cup of rice that we have right here, and we're going to put 4 cups of water. I have some turmeric right here that we're going to put in there, and then we're going to add some salt. So some Celtic sea salt right here. So we're going to put a good pinching of salt in there. Then I also have this Better Than Bouillon vegetable broth. We're going to put about a tablespoon in here. It's a beautiful color. Oh my goodness. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get the lid on it. We're going to do the rice setting on this. So we're going to hit the rice button. And then it's going to cook for 12 minutes. And then we're going to let it natural release. We're not going to manually release it. So we're just going to leave it right here while we move on to the other part of the kitchen. So in this enamel cast iron skillet, we're going to put a couple tablespoons of oil. Since we're making curry, we're going to use coconut oil. It offers a delicious flavor. I just have it in this half-gallon jar that I get from Azure. We're going to put a good tablespoon, 2. We're going to turn that on, let it get nice and warm. I do have spices over here. I've got 1 tablespoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 tablespoon of oregano. I went ahead and minced 3 cloves of garlic. I have tomato paste. We're just going to need a tablespoon of tomato paste. And I have 1 can, and this is 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And then I have some chicken that I've already cut up into little strips. Just some small little strips right here. This is a little bit over a pound, cut up into little strips. I did not have any coconut milk, but I had coconut milk powder. So I put a cup of coconut milk powder with some hot water to dissolve it, and it turns out just beautiful cream. And it smells, oh, it smells delicious. I love coconut cream. So while this is heating, I do have a pack of green beans that we're going to put in here. And when I have onions, fresh onions that are going to start to go bad before I could get to it, I'll go ahead and dice them up, and I'll put them in these vacuum sealed bags and stick them in the freezer. They're great for cooking with. And I do the same thing with peppers. This is a multicolored peppers that I have chopped up and stuck in the freezer. So we're going to be using those in this. So while this is heating up, we're going to turn the oven on 350. Let it warm up. Because when we're almost done, we're actually going to put this in the oven and bake it a little bit longer, and then we're going to go ahead and put that cream in it after it comes out of the oven. So I'm getting my salt and pepper ready for seasoning. We're going to add some Celtic sea salt on our chicken. And then we're going to add some ground black pepper. Like I said, I saved my jars. This is actually a bouillon jar from earlier. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give this a little toss. Now we're going to dump this in here into the hot oil. I just want to brown it just a little bit. Turn the heat down just a little bit. We're on a low medium. Alright, we're just going to let that sit there and saute for a bit. We're going to go ahead and open our onions and our green beans. This is 8 ounces of green beans. I buy them in 5-pound boxes from Azure, and I'll just divide them into 8 ounces. We're going to go ahead and get our can of tomato paste. And even though we just need 1 tablespoon, don't put it in the refrigerator. I've got a great hack for you on what to do with your tomato paste after you get what you need out of it, but without wasting it. We're not trying to cook the chicken, we're just adding color at the moment. So we're just going to cook it until we get a nice coating of brown on the outside of these pieces, because we are going to finish cooking this in the oven. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drop our onions. This is 1 cup of diced onions. And we're going to put in a handful of these peppers. We don't need the whole thing. I'll just stick this right back in the freezer. Just a handful. We'll give that a stir. We just want to get that onion block thawed so we can start cooking. We're going ahead and add our garlic. It's already starting to smell good, and I don't even have the spices in there. Since that onion was frozen, we're going to go ahead and put a lid on it so it holds the steam and will release the onions, break them down just a little bit. What I was saying about the tomato paste is I will just take a tablespoon, and that's the tablespoon we're going to be using today. Now the rest of it, I'll just put a tablespoon on a piece of parchment paper. That way when I know I need a tablespoon, it's right there. And I'll stick this in the freezer. So when I have another recipe that just needs a tablespoon, it's ready to go. And nothing's wasted. And I have these reusable Ziploc bags, and I'll just put them in here, stick it in the freezer, and the next time I need a tablespoon of tomato paste, I know I have 3 right there. We're going to go ahead and see if our onions have broken down some. Starting to break down. Still a solid block here, but it's okay. We can work with this. Okay, there we go. We're going to put our tomato paste in here. Mix it in the water from the chicken and the onions and the frozen vegetables. Now we're going to add our spice blend. Like I said, this was curry powder, cumin, and oregano. Do you see the color of this? Look at the color. That is just beautiful. It smells so good. Now we're going to add our can of diced tomatoes. We're going to add a tablespoon of this better than bouillon. Alright, so that is the basis of the recipe. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to cook it for about 30 minutes with the lid on. And then we're going to cook it another 10 minutes without the lid. So we got the lid on. Now we're going to put it in the oven. 350 for 30 minutes. And when it comes out, we'll add the green beans because it'll be nice and hot. I don't want the green beans to get mushy, so we'll add that once it comes out. And then we're going to add our coconut milk. So we're going to let the rice cook. It's got 4 minutes left on it, and then we're going to let that finish cooking. We're going to let it natural release, and then we'll give it a nice stir. And then once the chicken's done, we add the green beans and we add the coconut milk. We'll be done and we can have dinner. So I'll see you back in about 30 minutes. Okay, while I was washing dishes, the rice did beep. It's on 2 minutes right now. Done. But it's on the warm button. Once it reaches 10, I'm going to turn it off and just let it slowly release. Alright, so we have about 12 minutes left on the curry for the 30 minutes. But we're going to go ahead and add our green beans. So I want them to stay a little firm. I don't want them to get too cooked. Wow, that smells so good. So we're going to add our frozen green beans. We're going to give that a little stir. Put it in there. So now the last 10 minutes should just cook and thaw out these green beans. Can you see how beautiful and colorful that is? Alright, let's get the lid back on it and put it back in the oven for the last 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so the rice is ready. Let's take a look. Look at that beautiful color in there. Look at that beautiful color. Can you see that? Oh, it smells so good. We're going to give it a taste, see if it needs any salt. Perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and take this chicken curry out of the oven. Super, super hot. It doesn't smell like it needs anything in it. No salt, no pepper. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, that's good. So we got a little bit of the turmeric rice. Let's add some chicken curry on top. Tell me if that doesn't look beautiful and colorful. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I forgot to add the coconut cream. Let's go ahead and do that. little bit of that coconut cream on top. And now let's taste it again. With or without the coconut cream, this is good. This is good. This is really good. We will be making this again. Let me know if you make it. If you make it, let me know how it tastes.